There's this one food that you need to be aware of that has the potential to completely nullify any help from the top three nutrients in supporting your immune system. I'm talking about vitamin D help, I'm talking about vitamin C help, and zinc help. These three nutrients are the nutrients that most people take when they're coming down with some type of infection. So they're very, very important in helping your immune system. And I'm going to tell you the one food that can cause a deficiency in all three of these nutrients and negatively affect your immune system. Your immune system is dependent on these three nutrients. So let's first talk about vitamin D. Is vitamin D important with your immune system? Yes, it's involved with every single part of your immune system, your T cells, your B cells, your phagocytes, the neutrophils. Every single part of your immune system has vitamin D receptors. And when someone has an inflammatory condition called the cytokine storm, vitamin D is essential in keeping that inflammation regulated. So vitamin D helps modulate or regulate the immune system. Vitamin D also minimizes the collateral damage from pathogens, especially viruses. So without vitamin D, you have a much longer infection and you have a lot of other complications. All right, the next one is vitamin C, right? You know vitamin C is important. Probably at the first sign of a cold, you might take vitamin C. What does vitamin C do to the immune system? Well, number one, it increases the mobility of white blood cells. It makes them more active. And without vitamin C, they're very sluggish. Vitamin C also increases something called phagocytosis. That's the ability of phagocytes to eat up pathogens. Vitamin C also helps the white blood cells produce their weaponry to defend against infections. And without vitamin C, the duration of your illness extends a lot longer than it should. Even if you took the amount of vitamin C in your blood and compared it to the vitamin C in the white blood cell, the vitamin C in the white blood cell is 100 times more than in the blood. Why? Because your immune system is dependent on vitamin C. All right, now what about the trace mineral zinc? Is that important? It's very, very important. In fact, without zinc, your thymus gland, the gland that trains your T cells, it's like a training camp for T cells, atrophies. It shrinks. Zinc is vitally important, not just with the thymus gland, but for all the lymphatic tissue, the lymph nodes in general. Without zinc, you're not going to have the quantity of white blood cells. And without zinc, the duration of infection goes on and on and on. When people suffer from a lot of symptoms from interaction with a virus, for example, and they have all these complications, it's really the immune reaction towards the pathogen that's creating the damage more than the pathogen itself. And it's these three nutrients that minimize the collateral damage. So if you want to go through an infection with minimal symptoms, these three nutrients are crucial. All right, so what is the food that we need to avoid? If you guessed sugar, you are correct. Now, let's just take first vitamin C. The chemistry of vitamin C is very, very similar to sugar, okay? If you're consuming sugar and vitamin C at the same time, the body will always take on the sugar before vitamin C, leaving you high and dry or deficient of vitamin C. Diabetics that have this sustained blood sugar nearly always have